Posse cut right here, man. Sean Watts on the track. Zeus, Don One, Rude Boy, Quill, The Gift, and yours truly, Fred Nxt. I'm 1 in a million with $1 million flow. Fred DiBiase got the power in it though. If it's a problem, let me know, or I suggest you let it go. Cause it ain't worth the problems that be knocking at your door, homie. Please don't make me hurt you. Disrespect the boss, ain't treated like Virgil. Cause when I write raps, it's beyond your price tag. He's a waste of man.
And welcome back to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knox and the Z is Silent podcast. I am your host, Mike Knox. That's right, baby, the best in the world. Your tribal chief, the voice of the voice for the voiceless. And there's a lot of voiceless, or is there really a lot of voiceless in these releases? We shall talk about it. Oh, my brother. Hey, Oos, testify.
Hey, you know what it is, your boy, AKA Mr. AKA, and I got a whole laundry list of AKAs for you. But we're not going to do that right now because we want to get down to the nitty gritty. But I am big. Big champ in the chat. Okay. AKA Die Man Holla. AKA Yo Mama's favorite daddy. Proceed, Mr. Knox.
Well, we have a plethora, and I mean a plethora of entertaining and wrestling news that broke over this past weekend. A lot to be discussed on the show today. So, Dice Man, as you pour yourself a drink, you know what? Was that wine?
It is wine.
Now, he had a shot before we came on some Amsterdam, y'all. Yeah, I gave y'all some behind-the-scenes action. Now he's drinking some wine. So anybody who plays the game with us at night on Monday, especially when we're watching wrestling, it ain't my fault if you get yelled at. It's his, okay? But I'm going to drink to that live on it because after today's show, we all might need a shot. So now that is out of the way, it's out of the way. It's out of the way. Look at today's poster, people. The poster speaks for itself. Last week, WWE did it again. Did they run amok? I don't think so. Did they let you astray? I don't think so either. Did they fire some people we all kind of love and thought they had a future? Abso-fucking-lutely. And let's start off the show with that, Dice. Hello? Mighty Dice, man.
I'm here.
You sure? No one can see you.
I'm here. I dropped my glass. I need a new one.
Is it red wine?
Yes, the Snoop Dogg. It's the
Okay.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yes, that blood. Hold on. There's a bug in the house because I opened up my door because I have. Oh, guys, a whole bug too. All right, I feel like what's my man Parsons on the platform last night? Yeah, I'm having a bad day. That's how I feel today. But I'm not having a worse day than the wrestling community. Allegedly. And I say that to say this, Dice. A lot of people, a lot of releases was let go from the WWE. A lot of fan favorites were let go. Some of our favorites were let go. Nia Jax. We know the rest of the wrestling world hates her, but you and I, we love her. We know what she brings to the table.
She's necessary.
I definitely think and I have said this before, she is the female's version of the Big Show. Of Andre the Giant. She is what Awesome Khan was supposed to be before she was with Child.
She exactly is. And if you wanted to put their respective careers up against one another, Nia has a pretty good rap sheet compared to Kong. She just hasn't had a really good feud like Kong did with Gail Kim.
Her best feud would be with Alexa Bliss. And that's a shame for what it's worth. Right? So let's talk about some of these releases, right? And we've had a hell of a lot of releases this year. So let's not talk about the year. Let's talk about this past weekend when this shit took place, because that's the part that got people's panties all in the arse, if you will, so to speak. Okay, and that is we lost Scarlett Bordeaux, Frankie Monet, Amber Moon. Which, by the way, I'm being honest. I thought I heard my daughter curse when I told her Amber Moon was fired. Okay. Okay. And I'm also one that says if my kids cuss, I can't really be mad at them because, you know, they may have heard me cuss. I mean, I play DMX in the car. Okay, like so it's only pound for my kids to say fuck.
What's the situation?
You know what I'm saying? So
what's the situation?
So we got Amber Moon, Trey Baxter, Karrion Kross, Ollie Lorcan, B Fab, which again she was from. That's what made her mad at first. My daughter was that told her B Fab was gone from the Hit Squad. Okay, Jesse Camilla, Zeta Remainer, Grand Malik, Loris Donaro. I met him at getting my Xbox 360. Mia Yams, or in our words, Mia Yams. Harry Smith, who God, he was just brought back and now he's gone. Keith Lee, as we just mentioned, Nia Jax, as we mentioned, Cortez. I mean, the list is an extensive list. And
listen, Harry Smith was touted in that CM Punk versus John Cena feud when he name dropped him and asked him why John Laurinaitis did he actually go to his house and tell him that he was fired. He said, "Hey kid, best of your future endeavors."
And I like this guy. He says the only person going to miss is Nia Jax. I don't get too many Nia Jax supporters out there. We don't get that as well. So I'm glad to see that Steve checking in.
To the Empire.
I'm going to say this much, okay? And I got to keep it real. I got to keep it funky. Yeah, don't be judging me, Steve, on these damn names. Just, whatever I say is what I say. That's what you guys are here for. I'm not a word-ematologist. I don't work for the fourth letter, okay? This is unpopular reviews around the blocks. Okay, all right. Formerly of Fox Sports News, 1340 a.m. You name it, I've done it. I will fuck a name up. Now, moving on, as I fucked up their names. Okay, you look at this, and I gotta be honest. And you and I pretty much speak every day. I don't think there's a day that goes if we don't talk, it's because whatever reasons. But we talk every day.
Yeah,
and
we specifically didn't talk about this though. We specifically didn't talk about this.
The Xbox parties have been awaiting a blaze. Shout out to DC Crawford, who said to me, you just wrote the post. Now his work week can start with a smile on his face. He hit me last week when his releases were going on. Him, Scott Thomas, like, yo, y'all doing a show? No, I'm not. I'm gonna wait until all this unfolds. And I found out what exactly in HE double hockey stick is going on, which guess what? I have no more answers for what has happened. Okay? We get the same old responses we get, which is budget cuts, which makes no sense to me. He almost spit out his drink. So I didn't drink right now. Budget cuts. Hey, Charmaine, and I'm not going to miss it. We forget. Listen, be so forgotten, Charmaine. We didn't even mention her name. Okay? And I say this much. We don't hate Eva Marie. You people hate Eva Marie as Dice disappears again from the screen.
I just realized I was in 480. I needed my Thanos and my Chargers chain to glimmer.
Okay.
You know, we feeling
not changed now.
We feeling real good.
That is. That's a thick joint right there, by the way. Smack you in the head. Thickness.
Shout out to the GLD shop for keeping me real drippy, as the youngins would say.
Hey, no, don't get no damn props. They ain't sponsored this show yet.
Hey, we gotta start somewhere.
Okay, what's the name?
Shout out to I am a brand ambassador for Habits 365.
Yeah, so am I technically, but I don't even never spend
it. They shirts is expensive, but they're worth it. They're really good, but
Charmaine, listen, Eva Marie was brought back for one storyline, which was Dewdrop. Okay, I posed a question today. No, they're not gonna fire Mandy Rose. Now, Charmaine, we finally found something we have to disagree with. Okay, I was there when she won the NXT 2.0 Women's Championship. Can we call it the NXT 2.0 Women's Championship? I mean, but with all those assets, she's going nowhere, and neither is Toxic. Okay,
that's Trish Stratus 2.0, and they're going to build her like that.
2.5, because you know who I compare to Trish Stratus, and that's in the ring wise and storyline wise, the great Nikki Bella. But as far as vision is concerned and what you're looking at aesthetically wise, it's definitely Mandy Rose. My son and I voted for her doing Tough Enough. We didn't vote for Patrick, which he's not here, by the way, anyway. But let's talk about these releases again, okay? Mm-hmm. This year alone, you've had, I don't know where I saw this from. It's not mine. That much I know. It said, fuck the Madden curse. What about the NXT curse? Because you got Andrade, you got Malachi Black, you got Adam Cole, Keith Lee, and now Karrion Kross. the last 5 champions minus Samoa Joe, who only came back to get Karrion crossover, who you haven't seen since, all gone from the company. All gone from this company. Dice, first of all, your take, before we get into the semantics and I go on my berates, and the question of today is, comment below, let us know. Is Vince McMahon crazy?
You know what? I thought about this a lot today at work when I was yelling at my Latina employees. They got your guy being a manager now, so I'm in charge of some Latinas. But I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm a little mad, but again, people get fired every day, B.
People get fired every day, B. When I lost my job, y'all wasn't crying for me. Nobody said, what about me? What about Raven? I had nowhere to go.
You know what? You know what happens when I remember when I was like 16, 17, I worked at McDonald's. And I would just clock in for like an hour or two, and then they'd be like, "Hey, we got to send you home." Why? Over labor. If anybody's worked in a restaurant, fast food, waitresses, bus boys, all that shit, you have been cut before because of high labor. I feel like WWE is at a crossroads where they're like, we're kind of sort of going into a new direction, and we're gonna think about is that the golden era from 91, 90, 95? Before, what's the era before the Attitude Era?
That before the Attitude Era,
is that golden?
It was the Next Generation.
Okay, Next Generation. Okay, so that era. So we didn't get Attitude Era. What's 97?
Yeah, what is he saying? Vince knows that what he's doing. Why is VKM going to push these 3 guys when they couldn't even beat AEW? I don't know what you mean by that, because they're beating AEW every single week, and anything you're reading and saying they're not beating AEW is a false narrative, and it's almost virtually. And I've done my research since we did a show 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't here last week. Dice had a baby situation, and I just came back from camping, so I just didn't have the energy to do it. Okay, it's very difficult to pull a demographic Nielsen readings. So if you want to say they're winning an age group that may fit myself and you, 18 to 49, then go right ahead. But they have not beat WWE in 0 ratings thus far. Continue, Dyson. Explain to me a little bit more what you're referring to, but if that's what you're referring to, that's where we're going with.
So the Next Generation, right? And Attitude Era started 97. It really started 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm thinking from 95 to 97. Was that really technically an era? I feel like that was a turnover point where they were rebranding.
He lost Hogan. He lost Savage. They were getting out of the old regime, trying to go into the new regime. These guys took the pay cut from Ted Turner and went over to WCW. So it was a page turner. You got to think this is when technically fans would say this was the Shawn Michaels era, when they wasn't pulling the numbers in exactly what was going on. It was hard for him to be a champion. So go ahead.
And I feel like that's kind of how the budget cuts. I think this is the rebranding of NXT. I feel like that's another rechanneling of we're about to go into a new era. Whereas the past 2 eras that we've had, it's been a lot of kind of seaming into it. It's been a transition to where I think now we're in a dead zone. With the pandemic, wrestling fans have it the best.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic has been great for wrestling fans.
Absolutely.
Period. And the one thing that wrestling fans aren't understanding, in my opinion, is that take it for face value. I'm not going to watch Space Jam and be like, ain't no motherfucking way Michael Jordan can't stretch his arm like that to dunk the ball. I'm just going to watch it and be enjoyed. We know the shit is scripted. But nobody watches a fucking Fast 5 movie and be like, that car couldn't go that goddamn fast. No, you just watch it for face value. And for some reason, for the past, I don't know, let's say 8 years, with the constant rise of bloggers and podcasts and articles, it takes the enjoyment out of wrestling. Just if you would just literally take what is being presented to you and stop trying to go in the back door of saying, oh, let's see what behind the scenes is and da-da-da-da. A lot of this shit, these people got cut because they've been rumored to have bad attitudes like a Keith Lee. But y'all don't want to talk about that
because let's talk about that because that's a rumor.
It's always Vince's fault. And you know what? I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, no, you can't get sick and tired of being sick and tired of what I was already sick and tired of, and that's blaming it on the WWE. However, in this case, with some of these guys, Vince fucked up, and I'm quick to blame the company. I'm also quick. We talked about this little bit of Smith bit when it came like Malachi Black when it comes to Karrion Kross. I think Malachi Black, Aleister Black, Malachi Black, what the fuck his name is, he was given the green light to do what he was given a great entrance. Everything else, to me, he didn't equate on the main roster. Opposite of that, Karrion Kross was given the same exact thing, great entrance, great woman, but when brought to the main roster, he did not have that great entrance. He did not have that great woman who I thought Scarlett was a bigger star than him. He was not, in my opinion, given the fair chance to be successful. No offense, he lost to Jeff Hardy. Night one, we talked about.
Let me ask you this real quick. I don't want to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but who would you take coming up? Would you take Damian Priest or are you taking Aleister Black?
I'm taking Aleister Black. I cannot
because
stand,
these guys are 1A and 1B,
Priest.
in my opinion. Because if you look at it, the only difference between Priest and Black is that Black was tag team in with Ricochet for no reason.
B Fab is her name, by the way. No, none at all. And I agree with you with that. And Dana Brooks is she is fine. When you look at what the company
Dana
is doing,
got released too.
I didn't
she
see
was on
that
that list.
I didn't see Dana Brooks on that list.
Oh,
I think
okay.
she just somehow mentioning Dana Brooks, which is fine with us. Okay.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross wasn't given a fair opportunity, in my opinion, coming up to the main roster. He just wasn't. Aleister Black, I think, was given a fair chance. I think when you look at Damian Priest versus Aleister Black, I see more in Aleister Black than I see in Damian Priest. But again, that's my perception, right? There's reality, there's perception. And when it comes to WWE, Vince's reality is what matters. Our perception doesn't. Okay? So who we may think is a star doesn't mean he thinks is a star for whatever reason. Now, I work with a prominent cable company, right, for a living. It's my daytime job. And I had a guy who was a wrestling fan. And we just talked for like 35 minutes, not about what he was calling in reference to, just about wrestling. And he said something to me that I told him I was going to use that on my show today. And now we know we all have that conspiracy theory thought about how Vince sabotaged WCW and how Vince sabotaged TNA Impact. What if Vince is letting these guys go to sabotage AEW? I don't believe it. I just thought it was a fun thing to talk about.
You know what? As somebody who does not, but kind of sort of may think that the Illuminati has
I definitely
a
think
point.
Illuminati. But that's a different conversation.
I feel like Vince is doing this because he figures that Tony Khan is still the new guy on the block.
He's going to buy them all.
And he's going to do whatever he can to satisfy the boyhood fan in him and the fanboys of the internet wrestling community. He's going to do it. He's already proving it. He's proving it right now. So eventually he is going to be influxed with so much talent that the talent is now going to be frustrated that they're not getting a push. They're going to get frustrated. You know the perfect place for people to go to that have creative issues with WWE? It's always Impact. It's always been Impact. If you don't think I'm right, okay.
No.
Think of anybody. I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to anybody watching.
Impact.
Anybody who's had creative issues or have been stuck in that mid to upper card but can't be constant in the main event, they go to Impact. They work on the shit that make them look weak in WWE. WWE keeps a fucking eye on them, sees that they're stronger, and then they bring them back. Look at Drew fucking McIntyre. He was ass. No promo skills. His promo skills got a little bit better. His in-ring work is a lot better. He knows how to tell a much better story in the ring. And he's money. Same thing with Bobby Lashley. He's money. Like Christian, money.
Christian was money before he left.
He was money, but he was still stuck in the mid-card. So
he came back and was stuck in the mid-card too. It didn't matter. Vince didn't see Christian Cage the way other fans see Christian Cage. Vince doesn't see anybody that the internet community loves that's another thing, Dice.
It's just when they're just too big, too strong. When you are dealing with a publicly traded company, it's not. I keep saying it every week. We have these discussions. They're just too big, too strong. They just made over 300 mil for the fourth quarter, some shit like that. Like,
not counting
but then the excuse is budget cuts. I don't. So that's clearly a lie. But if they don't have anything for these people, then they just don't have anything for them.
That's where my anger starts right there, right? Because I get what we see as a star not being a star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get that. I also get the fact that Vince will never let another Rock, another Cena, another Austin ever exist. The biggest names in his company right now: Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Shotzi Banks, Charlotte Flair. None three at this point in their careers are bigger than WWE. Now, even if you took Roman for what it's worth because he was hated for so many years, doesn't have it. Charlotte hated for so many years, doesn't have it. Sasha Banks might have it because everybody wants to love her because she's not the girl. Like everybody goes, she's the best of all time. Well, her record doesn't say so. And I love Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but this is a company. This is a company that doesn't show you their record on the bottom of their taglines,
right,
when they're walking to the ring.
You're depending on internet geeks and nerds to come up with these stats they make up, and you hope that they're right. And you have somebody quote them to me later on and tell me that that's gospel. But is it gospel? Because WWE doesn't keep a track of these things. So somehow you're being better than ProFootballFocus.com, which is WrestlingFocus.com, and you can come up with these stats that no one else fucking knows. I appreciate you so much, very much, Charmaine.
So I think at the end of the day, these cuts, right? So there's always a,
but there's greatness in these cuts, Dice.
There's always a hierarchy, but we all know that there's plenty of times where like people just aren't written in the story and they can't
okay, who's not a star? Let's just pick the 5 NXT guys alone.
But
I know for a fact that you were not high on any of them except for maybe Andrade. I haven't heard you really speak on an Andrade. I know you haven't spoken on Adam Cole. You were that high on Keith Lee. Karrion Kross, I had to become a fan thanks to the executive consultant watching them live. And I was
a fan of Killer Kross, not Karrion Kross.
Okay.
But Adam Cole, I just started coming around. I like him. I like him. I don't think that he's super pumped up as everybody.
He's being kissed by boys now. That's what he gets for a living. He's now being kissed by degenerates for a living.
Listen, I'm not. You know what? That's neither here nor there.
I'm not saying that's a gay thing. I'm just saying that's what he's been. He was once the biggest thing in NXT, and now he gets kisses on the cheeks from from Young Bucks. I think he's bigger. Personally, I think he's bigger than half of AEW by himself, in my opinion.
All right, he's
definitely bigger than the Elite.
Think about when we said it multiple weeks. I think it was at least 2 months. Where's Hangman Adam Page? Where's Adam Page? Well, maybe they just didn't have nothing for him in that point in time. Maybe he asked for the time off. These are things that wrestling fans do not take into consideration. Nia Jax had clearly asked for the time off.
Well, they wrote her off. Let's keep it real.
I mean, think about it though. Think about it. She was involved, and she was involved in a storyline.
Right.
She was involved in a storyline.
She said they didn't even tell her no. They just fired her.
And at the snap of a finger,
Thanos.
they wrote her off TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, I would think that was the approved time that she got.
Okay.
And then they were ready to bring her back because if you listen, they kept acknowledging Nia Jax. So that would imply that she's still here. She's going to show up.
Uh-huh.
And then they fire her. Maybe that's a result of her still asking for time when they needed her to be back on the schedule. So maybe
is it fair? But is it unfair
to the line?
Is it unfair when in this world we live in with the Ben Simmonses and the Simone Biles of the world that says, oh, my mental health is more important? And are we supposed to automatically grant that? Because I want people to understand this. It's still a business. I'm not taking WWE's side because I love Nia Jax. I want to see Karrion Kross be a superstar, and I believed in Keith Lee. Okay, Adam Cole asked for his release. So did Andrade, for what it's worth. But when you look at these guys, Dice, do you say that if you ask your job for vacation time, It's called a request. It's not a guarantee.
It
Even
doesn't
if
have
you
to be
have
granted.
time, they can tell you no because other reasons. So why does the world we live? What is this shit we live in? The cancel culture. First of all, just like Dave Meltzer,
fraud.
fuck you, cancel culture, because you guys just are a bunch of fucking.
What time is it? It is 6:25 Monday,
Apple Watch
November
says.
8th, and I forgot to say, happy motherfuck you to Dave Meltzer. Tell him that Dice said it. Smooches.
And the culture and the cancel culture, as far as I'm concerned, because everything today, the greats of yesterday wouldn't be great today. You want to cancel Zach Morris, you want to cancel Al Bundy, you want to cancel Martin, you want to cancel
goddamn sensitive.
You want to cancel everything but Family Matters and Urkel.
Listen,
everything else is offensive.
Y'all couldn't grow up in our era. If Dave Chappelle's white power KKK skit had fucking shown today.
Oh my lord.
Oh, white power. Like it would have been off the air the second
it aired. The second it aired.
I just think that these wrestlers, how much blame is it for the company, right? Like we've heard stories, and they all come out later on down the road that this person was difficult to work with. This person didn't want to do this. This person didn't want to do that. I believe it to a sense because it's like align the stars and the stripes.
But aren't we supposed to care about her and her mental health?
We are.
Today's culture tells us that it's insensitive to fire someone who asks for time off because they're dealing with mental anxiety.
Well, I'll put it like this. So anytime I want to take a day off, right? Or if I want to call out.
You got to request it.
Contraire, yes. But I'm not asking you for permission to take a day off or two because my lupus has been acting up and I just don't have it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll call my boss and I'll be like, hey, Dan, listen, I ain't got it today. Or I'll tell him a day before.
Doesn't that count? For the nerd out there says, well, you don't work for a multi-billion-dollar company.
You're right, but I still work for a company that cuts checks for me. And they fucking rely on me to do an integral part of their company. So therefore, I'm not asking you for permission to say, is it okay if I take off and go live my life a little bit? No, I am letting you know ahead of time that I am not coming in. So therefore, you should probably find a suggestion for somebody who can do what I do for 8 hours of the day. And if you don't, that's fine. I'm still going to take the day. Period. Like these people that everybody's clamoring for, at what point do you look at them and be like, maybe they are an asshole backstage? Maybe they might be a good worker, but their attitude sucks and they don't take criticism very well. We've known that to be with a lot of wrestlers that are no longer with the company, and that's okay.
But we haven't heard that about Keith Lee. Now we have heard that about Nia Jax. We have heard that about even for what it's worth, Eva Marie. But I didn't hear, and we heard that about a little bit of Andrade. Andrade got a little bit of bigger.
Well, there was a recent report that came out. I think about 3 or 4 days ago that said that Keith Lee was very difficult and had attitude issues. And remember, I said the Bearcat thing was his idea from the reports that I read.
Right.
And he even reposted Keith Bearcat Lee. Well,
he came out. He had an interview on Friday, and Twitter
he said
came at me. He said he did not ask for that name.
So I'm like, did you? Like, I feel like sometimes like these people kind of just say no, they didn't come up with something because at this point, like to deny it doesn't put you in a bad spot anymore. But if you were still with the company and you said, I didn't come up with that, then it put you in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like it's like that. Like I believe that he had some sort of input with that because I just don't see Vince McMahon as being like, oh, we're going to take this back to the 60s and 70s where Bearcat Wright was, you remind me of Bearcat Wright. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it in Vince McMahon. I don't believe it.
Adam Cole's is the shit. When he left NXT, he needs to remove himself from the Elite ASAP. I agree. Keith Lee got fist bump from Roman and Brock and was impressive moments, but saw Keith Lee Vince fucked up. Simple as that. Well, that's where I'm agreeing to that part right there, and that's my gripe is that, and I know that's that's another thing. People see the memes that come out and everybody goes, remember that. No, remember that shit on your own. Okay, fuck the memes that came out and told you that. I saw those promotions. I saw those pushes. The fist pump from Roman means nothing. What meant a lot, what was a great rub, was him going against Brock, because Brock didn't have to do that. I don't think that was storyline driven for Brock to go, okay. I thought that was Brock having, or as we say in the wrestling community, or it was an organic experience. Like, damn, here goes somebody else as big as me who I've seen move like me. Okay, I like that. Okay, and that's what I felt from that. He said, "Fuck Chris Jericho as well. Cancel Al Bundy. No, wow. They're getting personal. Listen, that's what would happen today. Okay, Keith's birthday is today. Talk about a terrible gift from Vince of King Von Jr. 720 on Twitter.
They fired CM Punk on his wedding day. You think they give a shit about a birthday?
But again, people get fired. That's another thing with the cancel culture that gets me.
People get fired every
It really gets to me how people will sit here and go, "Oh my God, the WWE is so heartless. It's the seasons. It's the holiday season. Technically, it ain't fucking Thanksgiving yet. I ain't got no turkey in my oven, so it ain't the holiday season yet." And we don't count Halloween as a holiday. Let's keep it real. It's a holiday for children. Ain't a holiday. If you don't get off work from the shit, it ain't a holiday. I don't get off for Halloween. Never have. Never will. Matter of fact, I dress up to go to work on Halloween just to be a fool. Okay? But either way, none of that being said and being removed from that, I do think some of these releases, Vince has lost his fucking mind. That's why I asked the question, is Vince crazy? I didn't see Scarlett as being a great person. But I think Scarlett's already said she opened up an OnlyFans page. Like, way to whore yourself out there, Scarlett.
I think it's calculated insanity. The man's a billionaire.
That's what I say too. Where was your t-shirt buying? What Keith Lee shirt did you buy? And I'm not talking about the people that I may speak to or that I may be connected to that may be Keith Lee fans. Right? I'm gonna say this, Dice. We say this as you sipping on that wine. If the WWE is behind it, or if the WWE, let me rephrase that. If the WWE likes it and pushes it, you're gonna hate it. So if it's anything, so that's why like I don't see nobody hating on Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's getting pushed through the fucking roof.
No, that's because he's fucking entertaining.
Okay.
Karrion Kross is an entertainer. Listen,
I thought Karrion Kross. What was it? What did he need to be in it? What was not entertaining about Karrion Kross? Because his intro alone was entertaining.
The vignette was okay. It was cool. It was all right. But when he walked to the ring, he looked boring. I can't be the only person that thought
when you saw him when he walked the ring on when he had Scarlett with the fire
his debut. His
of
debut.
Course, that's what fans are saying. It was like giving him the Ascension treatment. You brought him up and put him in fucking gladiator gear, and there was no damn gladiators.
Okay, but this is my point, right? So
when the last time you seen what's the Spartacus on TV? He was better off coming out like a Vampire Diaries, because these vampires somehow still seem to exist in this world. But when you're a gladiator, oh no, they die pretty fast. Vince fucked Karrion Kross over from the jump. I think Vince wants to just fuck anything that Triple H made. That's my honest belief at this point. If Triple H put his hands on it, it's Vince's job to say fuck it. Triple H said, let me take your baby. Let me make it successful. Vince said, it can't be successful. And Triple H, Paul Levesque made it successful. And all of a sudden, Vince said, fuck, he did it. I got to fucking break it down.
Steve, I agree with you. Steve said Riddle figured it out. Priest figured it out.
Priest figured it out. And I'm surprised Priest didn't get fired. What the fuck did Priest figure out?
He figured
Let's
it out.
Let's keep it real. What did Priest in 2 weeks? I need
you to put your hatred for Damian Priest aside.
No, I'm not. This ain't no hatred aside. This is me watching what it's to be perceived on television. Okay, what he gives me in the ring, not yellow teeth aside. Okay. Yellow teeth aside, when you look at Damian Priest, Other than the last 2 weeks where he was showing facial aggression in the ring, he gave me nothing. And damn sure not more than Keith Lee, and 100% not more than Keith Lee, and triple times that more than Karrion Kross. No, he didn't have the phenomenal entrance that Karrion Kross had. But again, when you come up to the main roster from NXT, it's a different set of eyes on the program, which a lot of fans understand that, right? You have wrestling fans. I'm gonna use this show as an example. You don't really watch NXT. You will watch it. You will enjoy the good wrestling from it, but that's not your crowd. So when they come up to the main roster, they got to impress you. You can't bring somebody up that has fire, a female who I thought was bigger than him. Remember, I said, yo, she's the star, not him. Mm-hmm. She's the star. So they bring him up without her the first time, no gladiator gear, just flat up, plain butt naked, and said, coming up next, NXT champion Karrion Kross. Cuts the commercial.
Right, so you mean to tell me a guy that comes out there and
you, Jason Michael Campbell, not to me.
So a guy who comes out and says limitless, and all he does is this fucking goofy shit here, and he's fucking over. His shit was just as boring as Karrion Kross.
See that right there? If Vince likes you, you're over. Simple as that.
Hold up. Contrary to that, there was a video. It showed Keith Lee backstage. He got advice. He got advice from Vince McMahon, face to face. Everybody saw this shit. And Vince told him, you're going to find it. Just make me believe.
When did he get that chance?
What do you mean?
Hold on. Don't say what do I mean, because that's not fair. So you get your hatred or whatever it is. I don't know what it is because it ain't normally you. I don't know what the call. So I say whatever it is, erase it. And I'm going to tell you why. Keith Lee was on the main roster for all about 4 weeks, and he was gone and was never brought back again. When he got brought back, he was a completely different person, different package. His debut was to beat Randy Orton. Need we say more? You had this guy out here. You had him getting these rubs from all older, bigger, successful stars, as Chris Epps pointed out in the chat. The memes point out as well. The rub that he was getting, and then you bury him. Karrion Kross, he comes up again to the WWE audience, the WWE universe. It's different than I'm at NXT, you know that quite often. Not as much as some, but I'm there quite often. The crowd will boo you for 1 month, and then all of a sudden cheer you later if you prove to them. But I don't know what the hell's wrong with that crowd. AEW crowds, ECW crowds, Impact crowds. I've been to them all. You're all fucking fickle. Simple as that. You're fucking fickle. Okay, you're fucking fickle. You will cheer for whatever the fuck you want to cheer for, and then boo. I was there for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they booed MSK. All of a sudden, for Halloween Havoc, they're cheering the fuck out of MSK. What the hell just happened here? Okay, but whatever. I digress. Okay, they were not giving a fair. When you go to WWE,
a fair shake. Okay,
when you go to the main roster, though, the WWE eyes are different than the NXT eyes. You have to give them something to say. Oh my God, who is this? What is this? So you do that by giving him the rub against Randy Orton. You show that by giving them a great entrance like Damian Priest. Aleister Black had, right? You kept the entrance. You kept that going. What the hell are you looking at?
Are you sure? Are you sure that you just aren't going off your soliloquy because he's a black man that got fired?
First of all, I'm pro-black. There's nothing to hide about that. This is not that.
To the Empire.
I'm not just cheering for Karrion. I'm not just cheering for Keith Lee getting fired because Keith Lee's a fucking star. Like, I'm not complaining about no Orky Lorcan and these other guys who are getting fired. I can care less. They're not stars. That's what gets me with wrestling fans. They will sit here and complain about guys who are not stars. Okay? You may like Mia Yim. Okay? I follow her. Listen, I know people who know her personally. This is not a personal shot. Okay, certain people, I've said this before, as soon as wrestling fans understand this shit, as this is the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, then your wrestling knowledge and how you feel about wrestling will help you out a whole bunch. Just lay down, so on the couch. You got to doobie smoke it. You got to drink it, because here it is. Okay, everybody is not made. Hold on. Everybody is not made to be a superstar. Some people are mid-carders and some people are jobbers. Whatever you want to use it, enhancement, talent, however you want to categorize it, you smart marks. But until you realize that everybody's not a star, okay? So Mia Yim, not a star. Harry Smith, not a star. We proved it. Keith Lee, we don't know. Nia Jax was a fucking star. The rest of these people on this list, B Fab, as much as my duty loved her, not a star. Amber Moon, sorry, Super Black Gamer Bros. Sorry, my baby girl who's listening in the back room. Amber Moon was not a star. Okay, Scarlett might have been a star. Frankie Monet might have been a star. Karrion Cross might have been a star.
Frankie Monet was not no goddamn star. She was 38 years old. She's maybe. Not.
Well, do you think LA Knight's a star? Because I think LA Knight's is a superstar. He's
LA
old too.
Knight is absolutely a superstar.
But he's old as well. He's 36, 37. Age doesn't matter in professional wrestling any longer.
Age does not matter. However, LA Knight is
Damian
more
Priest
proven
over Karrion
than,
Cross. You can keep that shit.
LA Knight is more proven than Taya Valkyrie. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I didn't say was. I said might be. Okay. So a lot of the releases were not stars, but they did release some guys that were promising. You can. And here's the thing: the perception of NXT is this is the farm league. This is where you go here to make it better later, right? They get a chance to go to the main roster. They're not given that chance. Dice, go ahead. I see you got your stuff in the background. You're trying to do your thing.
I just want to note this out for Keith Lee for those watching. It says footage from Keith Lee's 24 documentary from the WWE Network, which followed his main roster debut the week after SummerSlam 2020, shows a conversation between Lee and Vince McMahon. In the conversation, McMahon praised Lee for being a hell of an athlete, cutting a good promo, but told the former NXT champion he had to make me believe in you. That was SummerSlam of 2020.
When did he get to the main roster, Dice?
SummerSlam of 2020.
He did not make it to the main roster in SummerSlam of 2020.
He was.
They had a NXT versus main roster match. He did not get brought up to the full roster until
after.
Okay, and how many? He was on TV for a month and he was gone for 7 because of whatever mysterious things were happening. So you can read that, and now, let me just say this: as you say about my black on blackness, you are so anti-black on black crime? Is that your not cheering for the man?
You know what I am? No, I am not anti-blac on black
because I don't see as a wrestling fan what not to see in Keith Lee.
But I am
a little gut.
What I am anti is this facade that every time a black man gets fired, he was done wrong.
I say his name that bad. I'm not just blaming Keith Lee. I think they did Karrion Cross wrong. Also, I think they did Nia Jax wrong. You're singling out what I keep saying about Keith Lee.
No. It's not what you're saying. It's just at what point are you holding these people responsible? That's the only side of the coin.
You're talking to the guy who made that statement.
That's the only side of the coin.
You're talking to the guy who coined that statement. I always would say, don't blame the company. Don't just blame the company. When these guys get over, and now listen, guys, I know this is the show, the pros, icons, out of colors, and rock and rollers all listen to. We don't believe me, check the stats. Okay. But your favorite wrestler who I can text, you have to call, not you. I'm at the point to you. Okay. Will say to you, how do these guys carry themselves on social media? For what it's worth, I ripped the Young Bucks earlier, right? You know what the Young Bucks do on Twitter? They stay in character. You know what Kenny Omega does on Twitter? He stays in character. I bring it to WWE. You know who stays in character on WWE Twitter page? Roman.
He does.
The Usos. Every week, the only thing you're going to get non-wrestling orientated out of Seth Rollins is, I hate fucking wrestling. I mean, football. That is it. That's the tweet. You have to believe. I said this from day one. Wrestling is storyline. If no one believes in your character, then there's no character. And when you're sharing to the world, oh, I'm in love, I'm proposing. Oh, you shoot your own self in the foot. Okay,
but these people. Remember the first rounds of cuts that we discussed a couple of months back. These people also have to build a brand.
It gets my Jones
going. Steven. I saw the EC3 comment. No, EC3 did not fuck EC3. Control the narrative is a great thing for professional wrestling. Not just anybody's been fired. Well, professional wrestling fans.
According to Edge and Jericho, they were impressed with Nexus, but Cena wasn't. And I had a great debate and I know a lot of people now who says the Nexus wasn't as over as people thought they were. I love the Nexus. But when you look at them, when we'll have a conversation, and then we'll start talking about the show after. We go, well, damn, now that I talk about it, that was actually better than how I saw it, right? When you look at the Nexus roster, who was in Nexus, because technically Daniel Bryan was in the Nexus, he got fired the first day.
Because he choked my man with his tie, yo.
So he's gone. He's already gone, right? So out of that group, which I was a big fan of David Otunga. But my fandom of David Otunga was only because of Christopher Nowinski. I know, yes, Christopher Nowinski to me was better than David Otunga. But I thought the same thing for him could work that could work for David Otunga, which is he was Harvard graduate, lawyer. It could have worked, right? Wade Barrett. I mean, I've interviewed all of them. Okay, right back. I mean, you name them. The list goes on. How many became actual superstars from Nexus? So I'm about to look at this. I say as a wrestling fan, I'm 46 years old, which means I've been watching wrestling for 38 years. Okay, 38 years of me watching wrestling. I think I have a good enough opinion to say that Vince dropped the ball on some of these guys.
Steve, I have to school you right now, brother. If you are an actual fan of professional wrestling, you should actually know that EC3 is actually really, really fucking good. And it's not even just coming from a fan's perspective. You should probably go look on Twitter, and there are multiple people. Your legend's favorite legend likes EC3. The only person who didn't like is the guy who controls the fucking narrative. That's Vince McMahon. That's the whole point of control your narrative. How is a man that was in NXT great in NXT? People fucking loved him. He was great as Dixie Carter's nephew. People loved him. That was the whole reason why he got to NXT. And now all of a sudden he's not good. I need big facts in the chat, not just opinion. Proceed.
No, shout out to King Vaughn Jr. 720 and backstage says when I was mentioning the guys who didn't get over on Twitter, he mentions Rusev and Lana and things like that. Bret Hart likes EC3. He says.
Bret Hart likes EC3. Jericho likes EC3.
See, my
Edge
thing
likes
with
EC3.
but again though, like
Christian
you know what?
likes
You know what I
EC3.
think ruined Rusev for what it's worth, and again, we talk every day. Where were you guys at who were Rusev fans when it was not Rusev Day? And if you thought that Rusev Day was going to be enough to get him over, you're fooling yourself, because that's not what Vince envisions from somebody from Bulgaria who came out with a tank at WrestleMania. That's not the idea. So when I saw Rusev Day, I said, "Oh, this is a WrestleMania thing, just like Fandango. It's a WrestleMania thing." You know what the WrestleMania thing was? When we birthed the Yes chant down in Miami for WrestleMania 28. That lasted longer than WrestleMania. That took on the legs of itself, and it crosses over to every single sport that there is. But want to move on. We can stay here all day with our 47 minutes already.
We talked about that for 47 minutes. Boy, Lord, let me look at the rest of the doc.
But I will add this much to the end of this, and I won't play his promo. But you had a question about Moose's promo, and here's my problem with the Acclaim and everybody else who is not WWE, including Tony Khan. When you have to name drop another company to get your line over, no matter how great that line is, you're not really dissing them. You're helping them, right? And Vince is fucked right now. And I don't mean fucked in a way that, some of you guys like to be fucked in the ass. I'm talking like in the eyes of being a fan of wrestling. Yeah, they're fucked, okay? I have a gay brother. You have a gay brother. I mean, it's what it is. Okay. One of them's getting in the ass. That's just a fact. Okay.
Oh, God.
I hate to say it too, but it's the truth. Just like I got to say the truth about this now that he's in the party. That Charlotte Flair is still the greatest women's wrestler. Y'all hear my kids in the background. I don't know what's going to make y'all hear it any better. Of all the times. Okay, that's Charlotte Flair to me. What's going on, Grand Body P? But when you look at this, when you see how this is all taking place, I mean, it's their own fault. Is it their own fault? But he makes this the first Acclaim, talking about Daniel Bryan going to the ring, mentioning Laurinaitis and being fired, and then you have Moose and his Impact in this Impact interview about the title, about how he's the best professional wrestler in the world because he doesn't belong to no tribe, and it doesn't matter if you're elite. And he mentioned that I personally, as a wrestling fan, I'm sick of it. It's like name dropping. It's like, all right, I just got finished watching The Sopranos, and it's like when Tretch was playing the role of one of his rap friends who said, man, so my man came out and said, if you shoot you, you'll be famous, because if you got shot as a rapper, you become famous. It's like if you name drop another company now, all of a sudden, oh, they name dropped the company. Tell us something we don't fucking know.
But the genius about it is he never said a single name, but you knew exactly.
Well, that's what the Acclaim does.
About.
But and to me, listen.
First of all, the acclaim.
At least they're
that's
creative.
The rap dudes,
at
right?
least they're
rap
creative.
dudes, right?
Yeah, Moose, you're trash.
He's
me.
terrible.
Moose, you're whack to me. Your promo was whack to me. Your wrestling is whack to me. You're holding Impact Wrestling back for me. You know my Facebook. You can inbox me. You come on this show anytime you want to, Moose. You are. I go for every black wrestler there ever has been. I just been accused earlier in this show about going against the black man or cheering for the black man. Moose, I'm talking to you. You sit there with your 50-cent suit that you got from Burlington Coat Factory.
Somebody tag
you. May have got a buy one free from JC Penney's with your little suit, with your little non-attractive wife. I said it. With your below average wrestling skills. And you have the audacity to talk about the great ones in this business to get yourself over? I'm tired of it. It's like modern day rappers streaming out, I love Juice WRLD. I love Juice WRLD. Give me a break. Give me a break, Moose. Impact is too good for you. Go down to the local bingo halls. I got my man Dr. D from the Wrestling Marks of Excellence that loves independent wrestling. Maybe he can get you back over. Because what you did in that ring didn't get you over in my book. It made you like a moron. I said it. I said it. I said it. A new day of greatness is coming. Come on. Oh, greatest faction of all the times, as Vaughn put in there. Go ahead. First of all, you can't public and court pin me. You can't do that. You can't do.
Mr. Pyramid, I am super, super disappointed in that soliloquy that you just told us. Well, first of all, you love the black man. And now
I didn't say I didn't love the black man.
The black man
I was being honest.
His title. The black man takes his title and puts it on notice. He puts the whole wrestling industry on notice.
They didn't need to be on notice. No one's paying him any mind. No one's paying him any mind.
Hold up. For somebody who says they are a voice for the voiceless and all of this bullshit.
The voice for the voiceless. Get it correct.
For somebody... You know what? I am an underdog guy.
That's because you're
until
short.
I get to the
That's
top.
because you're short.
I am an underdog guy until I get to the top.
You knew this was coming. Look at that comment.
That boy ain't even top 20 of his generation. Boy, stop. Listen.
Pop Smoke.
Listen, for somebody who likes the black wrestler,
I love the black wrestler.
I thought that you would really enjoy the promo.
I thought it was corny. I think he talked like he got marbles in his mouth.
I thought that you would. The man talks with a list. You're not sitting out here criticizing the game for rapping with a list.
Y'all, man. Hold on, the game don't have no list.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Y'all didn't make fun of my man Jack Swagger. Y'all made fun of his list.
Yes, the hell we did.
That's right. So why can I make fun of him? Because he's a list. Because he's black.
That's why they gave him fucking Zeb Culture, because he couldn't pronounce his words right.
Well, then guess what? Somebody should give Zeb Culture, who's still an Impact, to freaking Moose, because he pronounces words.
I literally thought
Tell him I said it. Tell him Mike not said it. Tell him he has an open invite to come face me in a word promo, and he's on TV. Well, not really. He's on Twitch, in a promo battle, and I will demolish him. Like I said, with his 50-cent Burlington Coat Factory's buy one, get one free JC Penney suit. Put a tie on, for heaven's sakes. You got a mustard color suit with a red color shirt on. Give me a break.
Is he done?
No, I'm done now. Continue.
You, as a black man, I thought that you would enjoy it.
I like that too.
One, because it's something new that we haven't seen from him. Two, at least he's fucking trying. And he's calling. Hold on. he is calling out the very industry that we so all know and love and has been watching since we were wee little kids. And he's not name dropping. He's not riding our coattails. He's doing what he should be doing as a champion, and that is calling out every other champion, no matter the promotion, no matter what. There is no difference between Roman saying everybody in the wrestling industry needs to acknowledge me, and what Moose said, in which he said that he is the best world heavyweight champion in professional wrestling. That is no different. But the fact that Roman is your guy,
he's your guy too.
He's
your tribal chief too. And hey,
Elvis,
where you at? Acknowledge me in fantasy football. I'll whoop your ass.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Somebody
my glasses said, because you got me blind.
Oh my God.
You got me blind. Are you gonna sit here and try to tell me what you just said to be real?
I just needed to go back real quick because
delusional.
Mr. Epps,
there's a
Mr.
difference.
Epps,
there's a difference.
He's not delusional. You know who was fucking.
There's a difference, Dice, between. Okay, you got the gavel. Go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge this. Chris Epps said that the fans already believed in Keith Lee. Vince didn't, which goes back to his earlier comment of audience of one. Roman was impressed. Brock Lesnar was impressed. Vince fucked up. However, the audience of one, when the fans hated fucking Roman,
they did.
The audience of one was the one still
they counted
shoving Roman down your throat.
Stop it. He was not.
You motherfuckers.
So was Rock.
Was Rock. Hold up.
So was Cena.
Hold up. You motherfuckers was mad. Y'all was really mad that Roman was getting the fucking main events. But now you're saying now they're saying that, oh, Vince is out of touch. He doesn't care about this person, that person. He never cared about you motherfuckers. You know what he cares about? That money, that Skrilla, that paper, them yams. He cares about the money. Y'all are not going to make him any. You know what? Just go segue. Jordynne Grace of Impact said, if you don't like it, you don't like these people being fired, stop watching the product. Does she have a point?
We've always said that.
Thick Mama Pump.
We've always
coined by Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. One of my
we've always said that. And I believe that to be true. Shout out to KME. Shout out to Chris Epps for that matter. And I'm just naming them. There's the people I know up hand. Shout out to Grandmaster P, who no longer watches WWE product. They've said enough was enough for them. And I've realized over the weekend, and here my disconnect with other wrestling is not that I don't like other wrestling. That things don't really bother me. You know what bothers me, Dice? We talk every day. When someone tries to bust on Mike and go, yo, dog, your glasses. And I go, nigga, your glasses and your eyes and your feet. And that's why you got a little penis. Everybody, oh, Mike, you got too serious. Right? That bothers me. You know what else bothers me? When someone goes, oh, you're a WWE guy. You don't know nothing else. I watch every fucking wrestling that comes on TV. However, just like Monday Night Football, just like Monday Night Raw, just like the pay-per-views we're going to talk about in a second, I'm programmed to liking a certain something the way something looks, right? I expect it to look this way. Doesn't mean that's the only thing in town. That's what my eyes have been, programmed to see and to like, right? When I'm at AEW and those guys come out and they don't have a shirt on, I don't like that. I don't like that everybody looks like a normal person because professional wrestlers aren't meant to be normal when you're on TV. You're meant to be normal if you're at a house show. If I'm at a local, your local indie program, but when you're on television, you're trying to be big time. There's a reason why they're calling you superstars. I did not like Jurassic World because Luchasaurus had a green mask on with a green tongue. It was because I didn't know where he just come from. He's a luchador and he's like 6'9" with a mask and doesn't speak. It was things like that. It's how you introduce things to me. I love all professional wrestling across the board. I thought that Lucha Underground was better than everybody for a hot moment there.
They were.
Okay.
They were.
But let's move on, Dice. I want to play this. This is from your boy, Karrion Kross. All right. He had a little promo. In fact, I could not get the one. If you can find it, it wasn't really a video that
from his actual Twitter.
Yeah, no, that Eater of Worlds came out with. I don't think it was a video. It was more like a GIF. I couldn't quite find it. It wasn't even long enough to play. But he also made a video. But check this out from one former known as
looking for Bray or
Bray from Bray. I got Karrion's right here. So here go Karrion Kross's promo right here. Any clues?
It was never really very sunny when I was a kid, even in the summertime. Where I grew up, it was usually pretty dark and very, very cold. This is where I used to play. One time, there was a man floating face down in the creek. They found his body in the marsh right before it washed out into the Hudson River. Well, the parents said it was a floating jacket, but I knew something was always wrong with this place. Jimmy Lightning was the toughest guy in the neighborhood. I remember on my 7th birthday, I saw him go flying off that bridge. Then, about a year later to date, people in the town said they saw him walking around the grounds of St. Barnabas Church covered in blood, laughing. Shook people up pretty bad. They told the sheriff told everybody to go home and check it out. Later that night, the sheriff lit himself on fire. This town was sick, and so was everybody in it. But not everybody stayed here. Some of us got out. You gotta understand, when something inside you dies, something else will come to take its place. I heard you all the entire time. I heard your cries. I heard you banging on my tombstone. The noise kept me alive. But sometimes you have to go back to where you came from to find out what you really are. We've been apart, but it's almost time for us to be together again. Wait for me, because I'm coming.
That's what I told my wife last night, but here we are now. Your thoughts on the Karrion Kross promo?
This is no different than any vignette from NXT. TikTok. I'm good. This did not get me excited about Karrion Kross's next step at all. Like it just didn't. I still feel like he's going to just go back to what we've seen before. I don't want to. I've seen what you can do before NXT. I've seen what you could do at NXT. I've seen what WWE wanted you to do.
What you know you did.
Now,
you mean NXT WWE? Okay.
Yeah. I want to know what you can do.
Well, there we go. That guy. That shit's
I
fire.
want to know what you can do now that you have 100% creative freedom. Since you're saying, everybody's saying that you're this great mind of a character, I want to know. That didn't intrigue me. I'm more intrigued by Bray Wyatt's tweets than I am that video.
Well, talking sports with Kendrick And thank you for tuning in. What credentials do you have to say that last part? I was with you. Vince can draw. That's your opinion. But to say that you should be face, heel, then face, and not the other way around, I can name a bunch of them that have, what's wrong with being a face to a heel? I don't see how that. Okay, I don't get that. I know that you've seen the blueprint with, say, the Macho Man, right? But Brett never turned. I mean, Brett was face first, then turned heel. It worked with Brett. Shawn was face and then turned heel. It worked with Shawn.
Some guys are just better.
Some guys are just better that way. So just curious about that. That was fire. Yeah, dumpster fire.
Steve, thank you. You finally agree with me. Thank you, Steve.
What are you talking about? No, when you see that, you're right.
I just sent you the Bray Wyatt shit on in the back end on your messenger.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to share that either. Yes, it was just a GIF. Yeah, I just showed.
No, that's a picture.
Right, but it was he had a video.
Oh, he took it down. I searched for it.
Oh, yeah, he had a video. That's what I was looking for. I saw this, but I shared this.
Okay.
I shared this tidbit as well. Brett was a heel first, just watching wrestling. Okay, well, I guess you know what? He was heel as a tag team wrestler. Then he was face as a single wrestler. Then he went back heel as a face champion. That means a heel champion. Just saying. So in that one, okay, Brett was heel first, but only as a tag team wrestler. When he went solo, he was not a heel. When he went individual. So I'm gonna put some respect on your name, Z, except when you're talking about EC3 nonsense.
Listen, don't just take my opinion for it. Listen, if I was going to take your opinion on something,
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
If there's somebody who professes in that profession and that we consider them a legend and they think that he's great, that's all I need.
You know what? I rock with that too, because Bret Hart told me, Mike, you know what the hell you're doing. So nothing anybody else says ever matters to me.
That's all I need.
But at the end of the day, it's still a matter of opinion.
It's still
an opinion, though. It's still an opinion. It
is an opinion. It is an opinion. But if somebody who actually went to school and that was famous for being a podcaster said that, hey, I seen your clips. I seen what you're talking about. I like the enthusiasm. I like the knowledge you be dropping down on these motherfuckers. Keep doing your thing. And then somebody says, you ain't shit. You ain't doing nothing out here with this podcast. I don't give a shit what they talking about. I care about the person who's acclaimed, who just bigged me up. But with all the respect, I love to debate. So I love the difference of opinion. By all means, you want to come test the almighty die man, then come test the almighty die man. You will fail.
I'll test you right now, goddammit.
There's a reason why I wear Thanos gauntlet.
That's because you like them. That's why. Bret Hart first turned babyface during WrestleMania 4, Battle Royal, then against Bad News Brown again. Exactly. When he went solo, he was a face.
So we got next on the tab. We got
well, I want to real fast.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, I was gonna play that next. See? Telekinetic. So here it is. The Survivor Series list was put up on Twitter. Like, WWE's gotten so lazy, so boring. Why would any of us go to WrestleMania? Seriously, other than the fact that I'm gonna be on Instagram or social media and go, damn, all my friends are there. I want to go now. But tell me why I should go, because you're doing nothing traditional anymore. You can't even give us the satisfaction of having this all develop on your shows over the next 3 weeks. No, you had them take to Twitter to have their teams picked. Who was captain? Anybody know? They just randomly picked these people from WWE.com, and here are your male teams. From Raw, you have Seth Rollins, you have Finn Balor, you have Kevin Owens, and you have the Mysterios. SmackDown gives you McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, the King Woods, Sami Zayn, and the Happy People. SmackDown's women's team consists of the Boss Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Neidhart, Natalya Neidhart, and Aaliyah. Now, I love Aaliyah, but what the hell has Aaliyah done to get part of this roster? I don't know. Then on the women's side, you have Queen Zelina Vega, you have Mela Is Money, you have one half of the women's tag team champions. Why one half? Why not put them all in there? I don't know. I think that's dumb. Go figure. You have the ravishing Rhea Ripley. You have Liv Morgan. You have the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. your thoughts on how this came together and these lists there, Dice.
Oh, you want my thoughts? Okay.
Did he just leave the show?
That's what I think about that shit. That's terrible. That's terrible. Why? Why? You know what? In the words of one of my favorite wrestlers of all fucking time, stupid, 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 stupid.
No,
And in other words of one of my favorite movies of all time, look at you now, you stupid fuck.
Now, King Vaughn says he has a Thanos gauntlet as well. Is that the chain? Because I have 2 gauntlets back here myself. I got Thanos's and Tony. So, I mean, just saying. Finger snap away. Go ahead. Continue.
I have a Thanos shrine.
I just like collecting stuff that I like.
I just don't understand. The best part about Survivor Series is watching the teams come together.
It's one of the best
conflict.
Parts.
It's the conflict within the conflict.
I can't say that Raw's team sucks though, Jason Michael Campbell. I think SmackDown
Raw's team looked
Raw's team's pretty dominant, yo. Like you look at Seth, Finn, Owens, and the Mysterios when they're definitely pushing
3
4
champions.
Former champions.
Former world champions.
Compared to,
and then there's Drew McIntyre.
Right.
And Jeff Hardy.
Right.
Okay.
The women's team on SmackDown to me, outside of Aaliyah, it's pretty impressive. Someone put in the chat about bringing up new talent. Shanti is new. Aaliyah is new.
Yep.
Okay. Liv
Morgan,
she's been here, but she's there. Right. You've been clamoring for one half of the tag team champions in Rhea Ripley. She is there. Now, so and that notion, again.
Remember, I think it was 2 SummerSlams ago when they made the Usos the
and we're talking
captains.
about Full Gear next.
They were talking. They had Usos the captains of SmackDown, and the promo they had in like the boiler room was just so balls. Yeah. And then they had Gallows and Anderson right beside them. They had Ziggler and Rude, I believe, right beside them. And then they were just like, welcome to the SmackDown Penitentiary. Everybody said it at once. Like, I like that type of shit. We love the fucking infamous Nia Jax punching the shit out of Becky Lynch, in which made Becky Lynch. Without that punch, there is no Becky 2 belts. No ifs, ands, buts, or about it.
Facts.
There is no Becky 2 belts without Nia punching the dog shit out of her. There is no infamous Stone Cold moment without him getting the sharpshooter with a bloody face. There isn't. There isn't this held Britt Baker fucking fandom without her getting a bloody face. Some things just have to happen to make this. But for the Survivor Series, it just doesn't hit it for me. And Survivor Series is one of the big 4. So it looks like at this point, the best thing that we're going to get out of Survivor Series is going to be the reunited New Day versus the Bloodline. In which I still think that our boys, the Hurt Business, got the short end of the stick. Hail to the Empire, because Bobby Lashley should be in that position where Big E is right now.
Bobby who? Where is he at right now?
I think he's coming back tonight. He was at a live event over in the UK. That's why he hasn't been there in like 2 weeks, I believe.
Then Nia's single. Shoot your shot.
Nia is single. I'm come here. Let me tussle with all that. At least she's 6 foot. I'm 5'8". I like a nice climb. That did NXT when Triple H rated, he rated with NXT. He had everybody in that ring, and he threw that shot out. That was great. Brand warfare is necessary. Warfare is necessary in professional wrestling. Shout out to friend of the
program, Buff Bagwell, whose mother Judy Bagwell passed away.
Oh, Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Okay, shout out to Judy Bagwell who passed away today. Let's turn our attention to Full Gear, if you will. Okay, so you do have the Full Gear pay-per-view that comes up this Saturday night. I personally love Saturday pay-per-views. It gives us something to watch on Saturday. That's why I actually love it. Now you have the main event, AEW World Champion Kenny Omega versus my God, Hangman Page for the championship, guys. We also have on this card. Britt Baker taking on Tay Conti for the women's title. We have
That's
a match
actually pronounced Toy
Conti. We have a match that I do not understand why it's there.
You have the graphic.
I love it. I do. It's just the way that it is.
It's super big. It's super small.
That's why I didn't want to share it that way, and I didn't feel like looking for it individually. I just didn't to bring it because so many different pictures.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not a lot, but to bring those up individually in themselves,
it's too much.
Yeah.
That's why I gave you the one with all of them on there.
Give me 1 second. Let me get it right now.
Off the top of the head, when I think about Full Gear, I'm like, But then when I looked at the graphic, I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what I was getting to because Miro versus DB. I don't see how this match is, and that's a horrible picture. Let's just get that off. I don't even know that even downloaded it. Why did I even download it that way? That's hideous. I don't see how that match comes about or how that match even came to fruition. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how that match comes together whatsoever. So, but I'm here for it. It's a wrestling match. It should be a very good wrestling match. But at the same time, how does Miro and those guys get together? It doesn't make any sense to me how this match came about. It's short-lived. It came out of nowhere, but we're going to get that right there. Now, what does interest me, someone who I've hated for years, not just since he's been in AEW. For years, I've hated Eddie Kingston. When he got announced coming back, I was like, who? I was not that guy, but it's that guy. I still don't think he can wrestle worth a shit. However, his promos he's cut the last few weeks, and what made me a fan was what he did last week against CM Punk. It's always about, and I've said this for years, wrestlers who come back, legends who don't have it anymore or still got it, if the fans want them to have it, should get over younger talent. Eddie Kingston's not younger, but he's talent that people don't know about. Eddie Kingston will be now more known from having that one insert with CM Punk in the ring on Rampage than he will get in his whole career. And now, because of CM Punk, Eddie Kingston will become a household name. And that promo that was dropped on Friday, that fight that happened in that ring on Friday on Rampage, was the best of the week in professional wrestling, in my opinion. Was the best of the week in professional wrestling.
I agree. I don't know if you realized this or you knew this, but and it was brought to my attention on Twitter, and I was just scrolling. The exact not the exact promo, but the outlines of that promo was the exact outline for the Punk versus Cena promo, to where he complained about the people in the indies not getting a shot in the WWE because of John Cena. So I thought that was pretty cool to have that come full circle. To
other bullshit I call bullshit on. Every superstar buries other superstars, and any wrestlers who tells you that he doesn't are a liar. Point blank, they are lying to you, the wrestling fans. It's just who has the hot hand. No one's gonna put over someone else over themselves. I'm just being honest.
Well, there's been stories of people
and to Michael Lee, I don't care what they told me how it happened. It didn't translate on television. Miro and Danielson, it just didn't. They can tell me how it happened, but it wasn't. They put it together in one episode. It wasn't weeks drawn out. This is Full Gear. This is their second big pay-per-view. It should be a little bit more of a storyline into that match. That's where I say AW fans and the illusion of AEW.
Wait, no. We know this because of the Jon Moxley thing.
Okay, my point is
we know this because of Jon Moxley suddenly
out. Right. I get that. I know. Right. I get
that.
But
there's no other way to build that.
But step away from
time.
Of course, there's not. But Toy Conti and Britt Baker shouldn't be on this card. Okay, Lucha Brothers, FTR, absolutely. MJF and Darby Allin, absolutely. The Inner Circle versus Scorpion Sky and America's Top Team, absolutely. The Super Elite versus Jabaki Bro and Christian, absolutely. This card is stacked. It's stacked.
The Toy Conti thing, they've been going at it for at least a month. Between Britt Baker, Jamie Hager.
I misguided my comments. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get that storyline. That's why I said. That's why I went on to how the card is stacked. Right.
Okay.
FTR does not suck, Charmaine. Come on.
She's not on your side.
And yes, I cannot stand Kenny Omega. And it's not that I can't stand Kenny Omega. I can't stand the fact that he's so overrated that everybody wants to love so much. That's why I don't like Kenny Omega.
I'm a fan of the cleaner, man. I'm a fan of the cleaner. I am a fan of the cleaner.
You gonna take him or you gonna take Seth Rollins? Don't lie for the people watching your show.
Which
I take any fucking Seth Rollins over any version of Kenny Omega, including the Monday Night Messiah.
It's too close.
White Jesus himself. It ain't even close. It ain't even close.
It's too close. In my opinion, it's too close.
There will be no Kenny Omega without Seth Rollins. He's a carbon copy of him, and he doesn't wrestle better than Seth. He gets to do more moves because he's in AEW, but I don't think he's better than Seth Rollins. But this ain't about my hate for Kenny Omega. It's about my love for Hangman.
It's not about the hate.
So
it's not about the hate, Skill.
So my winners will be this. I will go with Hangman Page winning. I will go with Miro winning. I will go with Kingston and Punk not ending in any match winning. I will go with the Super Elite winning. I will go with the Scorpion Sky because they need to win that match. I think that Darby Allin needs to win this match more than MJF, but more than likely they're going to push MJF to the roof to win this match. I think the Lucha Brothers win this match because I think they need to win this match. And listen, unless you're Charlotte Flair or Ruby Riott, Britt Baker ain't losing that belt to anybody right now.
Not to Toy Conti.
Not to Toy Conti.
She's a nice. She could probably hold that new TBS title, but she's not ready for the AEW Women's Championship right now. She's just not ready. She's got a nice look. Her and Anna Jay have the best asses in AEW. It's not even
Hangman
close.
Page. Who?
Anna Jay and Toy Conti have the best asses in AEW.
You always just skip the black women.
I didn't skip. I'm just saying those women.
She don't have a better ass than Jay Cardell.
Jay Cardell.
She does not have a better ass than Jay Cardell.
Which one? Toy or Anna Jay?
Just like no ass in WWE's better than Flaming Young. None of them.
You like that sloppy?
No, I don't. I like. First of all, I like
take that shit off. Shit like cottage cheese spread out on sofa bread.
You cannot talk when you're in love with Nia Jax. So stop it.
Listen, big girls need love too, Craig.
I'm not knocking big girls. I'm just saying.
When the last time you got on a shock value roller coaster?
I get sick of playing Call of Duty. What are you talking about? You want me to go on a roller coaster now? If Dolph Ziggler went to the Indies, he would beat Kenny Omega. Now, I don't know if that's disrespectful to Dolph Ziggler because Dolph Ziggler is way better than Kenny Omega in the ring. Now, on the microphone, I think they're about a push. They're about a push. That's what I said, about a push. But in ring, Dolph Ziggler, in the words of the professor KME, Dolph Ziggler didn't make it because his name's called Dolph Ziggler. If the man had a normal name, he might have got over in households, but his name is Dolph Ziggler. Okay, he should have been the next Shawn Michaels, in my opinion. Not saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not bragging, but I'm just sagging. I bet you don't want to see the MIKOXXX. I may put one more X in there, by the way.
While we're talking AEW, just a big shout out and a big kudos to Mr. Jon Moxley for taking the initiative and inserting himself into going to rehab, because that takes a lot of strength. And because we weren't here last Monday to talk about it, shout out to
Kiera Hogan. You're right about that one. I think he's right about that. Kiera Hogan. I did forget her.
Yeah, I forgot. Shout out to Punk for making his promo to give appreciation to somebody like a Jon Moxley and taking the initiative to go and get help, because it's not an easy thing to ask for help. It's not an easy thing to admit to your friends that you're wrong or you have a problem, especially as any male, and you're in a male dominating profession. It's not the most easy thing to do. I'm not saying I can relate, but as a man, I can relate to it. It's hard to ask for help. Nobody has all of the answers, because if we did, there wouldn't be tutorials, and everybody has a fucking tutorial. So
I'm on YouTube every day, B. My kids swear by YouTube. It's on YouTube, Dad.
DC, some people say Ty, some people say Toy. I say Toy because
I thought it was Ty as well. And Eddie Kingston.
I don't think so.
Keep him. I still don't think he can wrestle. He's great on the microphone.
They don't pronounce it the way that it's spelled because she's Brazilian or some shit like that. So that's why it's really weird. Like when you see her name on the screen and it does like what they read isn't what they say. It's like it always makes me confused. But apples, oranges, potato. Either way, the ass is still aficionado.
So Raw tonight, are you excited?
If Bobby Lashley shows up.
So we have the Bears and the Steelers. Not impressed.
I
got double XP on 2K.
I don't really care about football now because I lost all of my fucking bets because the fucking Bengals lost.
Yeah.
So yeah. Bobby Lashley expected to be back. Shout out to him for a great match.
Southern Comfort, guys.
My
wife brought in Southern Comfort.
Oh, she got the $9.95 route. She up my alley.
It's mine.
To the Empire.
It's to the Empire. Listen, all I care about tonight is something.
Oh, we got Seth versus Owens. Owens.
I think that starts to show up. You know what? Shout out to Raw last week for what it's worth. Until the releases this past weekend, Raw was very good last week. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very watchable, and I enjoyed it. I was very highly impressed with Raw last week. I want to see what happens this week moving forward.
The arena advertisement is Big E and Rated RK Bro versus Lashley, AJ, and Omos. So that probably would be the main event. I did not like the what was the exchange between Becky and Belair? I didn't like that last week.
I thought Becky came back after the match. I thought the match was good. I know people are comparing this rivalry to Triple H and Booker T. I don't see it.
Oh, okay. Stop it.
I say
who did that?
Stay away from certain realms because there's only one universe that matters, and that's around the Bloxxx. So
while we're on this, we got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes.
I gave you the hint where it came from.
I just want to
catch the hint.
I just want to ask this, right?
You're from Baltimore. Stop being naming Price.
In your heart of hearts, your mind of minds, was Booker T? Should he have won that match based off of the actual build up and the storytelling in it, or should he have just done it? Should he just won it because he deserved to win it, or did he get fucked out of that match?
Here's my thing, right? And I was not as pro-black back then as I am now. As I've become, America has made me more pro-black. Watching that match going back. Okay, I'm a Triple H mark. I did not like the get the bags boy stuff that happened. So I thought that was disrespectful, and I kind of wanted him to win because of that. But going back into that storyline, I didn't think Booker T should have won because it was Triple H. Right? And to me, let me finish the last part. Wrestling fans, to me, are like everything else that happens in this world today. They feel the need to always complain about something as if that would have happened then. You know, I use this soliloquy all the time. As a black man in this country who was a teenager when OJ was accused of murder, black people didn't care if he was innocent or guilty. They're just free OJ because it was just something to cheer for, a black man versus a white guy. I think when it comes to wrestling today, they're so cool to go cheer for the culture. As you say, hey, Mike, you go for it. I do go for black guy, but when something's wrong, I tell you. Okay, I believed in Keith Lee. This isn't like the New Day deserved to be what the New Day are. Okay,
you know what? Real quick. You sound like my mom. My mom will watch professional basketball, right? Back in the day. It didn't matter if it was
it was on Post Nightclub, and they actually set on fire to the memorial down there too. So
it could have been fucking a rookie Doc Rivers versus a well-talented Phil Jackson. My mom would still go for the black man unless it was Phil Jackson.
See, here's my thing. When you put that there, Micah, Micah puts that Triple H top.
That's how I feel like that's you.
where is this proof of this shovel from Triple H? He wasn't running the company or had the power of the boss back then. And clearly, for everybody who thought he had the power of the boss, he doesn't, because look what happened to all his guys. Look what happened to the company that he built. So as I've always argued against him, Vince being, oh, well, he's knocking off Stephanie so he gets what he wants because he's fucking the boss's daughter. That don't mean nothing. The boss, that man, no matter what you guys say about Vince, and even I think he's crazy for letting these guys go, his track record speaks for itself. And until proven otherwise, when you're having ego like that, he had Hogan, he had Rock, he had Austin, he had Cena, he got, Orton. He has the biggest names in the history of wrestling that's not named Ric Flair and Sting. Every other big name in this company's history came from this man's company. Name me somebody I'm not naming. Dusty Rhodes, I apologize. Those three names, other than those three names, he made popular. There would not be these things without Vincent Kennedy McMahon, although I think he's losing his fucking mind. And yes, we can say he's selling off assets like he's fucking Michael Jackson. Yes, he is. It seems like it. Are they here? All right. I told you I got a water problem. So
that's all right.
So
hey, we on time.
Yeah. I like Triple H. I thought when it came to that, I didn't understand the level of hatred against him for that, because when it happened, I know social media wasn't as big as it is now. I had a MySpace and I had a Black Planet, and Cats wasn't bitching. Okay. Cats wasn't bitching. Your name on wrestling/Booker that doesn't put yourself on top. Jerry Lawler was at Memphis. Fitz Von Erich was world class. Vern Gagne, Eddie Graham, Florida. R. Anderson, Georgia. I agree. Happy birthday,
what
Mom.
WWE is doing with Drew McIntyre is what they do with every person that comes on a new brand. They're building them back up. Not everybody that watches SmackDown on Fox watches Raw on USA. It's literally they're re-ingratiating him to be a threat to Roman or to Brock, because the motherfucker's using the F5.
Once they get past this, I did notice he used that on Friday.
Yeah,
that he was using the F5. Shout out to Micah holding us down on Twitter and on social media. I really appreciate you guys.
Black Planet was much better than MySpace. You definitely are right on that, Charmaine. God damn.
Listen,
I still know my password.
I know all of it. Matter of fact, it's Black. Let's see right now, guys. Everybody who can do it. Let's see if Black Planet is still alive.
Might be. MySpace is still kicking. It's trash, but it's kicking.
Let's see, my Black Planet still works. I would not get in if it did.
Hey, it's still up.
It's still up, yo.
It says the original
BlackPlanet.com. It's still there. Everybody go back to Black Planet. Fuck Meta. With that being said, Charmaine, Anthony, Micah, Derek, Jason, Micah, Christopher Epps, DC, Scotty Diggs, Talking Sports with Kendrick. Thank you for the first. I know it was your first time joining the program. Anybody names we have forgot, I apologize. We thank you. Listen, guys, all this, and I apologize before. I thought it was up there. Grand Body P show on Around the Blocks on BDSR Networks. Hip hop in the UK brought here to the States. Welcome to America. Listen, guys, this is the show they're supposed to do. And listen, do not wake up tomorrow morning and say to yourself, I love me some me, and don't love God, guys. We are out of here. Have a good night. Fingers.
Everybody's got a price. Everybody's gonna pay. But the $1 million man always gets his way. $1 million man.
Yeah. It's like the illest posse cut right here, man. Sean Watts on the track. Zeus, Don One, Rude Boy, Quill, The Gift, and yours truly, Fred.